What's up everyone, I'm Joe Biesmeyer with Bounce House 101 and today we're going to talk about bounce house tarps. When we first started renting out bounce houses, each bounce house we had its own tarp, which means we had about 20 different sized tarps in our shop. The problem with that is every time we would take them outside and dry them off and clean them up for the next rental, we'd fold them back up and we wouldn't know which bounce house that tarp went to.
After we cleaned the tarps and rolled them, we had to put them back on top of the correct bounce house to make sure they didn't get all mixed up. So we decided to go to only having two different tarp sizes. We have a large tarp and we have a smaller tarp. The smaller size tarp is 16 by 30. We like to purchase an Ozark Trail tarp from Walmart. This is a medium duty tarp that costs around $40. The large tarp we use is 24 by 40. It's also a medium duty tarp from Walmart and it costs about $70. By having just two tarp sizes, it cuts down on the confusion for our workers because they now only have two options. This also makes it easier on us because we only need to purchase these two sizes and not dozens of different sized tarps. We just stake directly through the tarps. Having several holes in the tarp really isn't ever an issue. These tarps last us years before we have to replace them. We only stake the tarps down on the corners if it's windy. The corners of the tarps may move a little, but it really isn't enough to be an issue. We only tarp units that go out wet. We also only tarp units that go on grass or gravel. If they're going out wet and in a parking lot, we won't tarp it unless the parking lot is gravel. We'll also tarp all units if it's calling for rain anytime during the event. This just helps prevent everything from getting super dirty during pickups. We only tarp at the entrances and exits of the unit. It's not really necessary to tarp the back of the unit. However, there will be a lot of mud under the tarps when you go to pick up later. When the guys get back after pickups, they pile the dirty, wet tarps in the shop. We mainly put them in the shop because we don't want them to get blown around outside because it might be a day or two before we get to cleaning them. For cleaning, we simply just lay them out in the sun for about 10 minutes. We just let the sun dry the mud and it turns to dust. We hardly ever actually pressure wash any tarps, even if they're really muddy. We just let them dry in the sun, then pack them up. When the tarps are dry, we fold them, then roll them up. The larger tarps are always rolled with the blue side out. The smaller tarp is rolled with the gray side out. 90% of all of our wet units use the large tarp. All of our combos and slip and slides will use the larger tarps. All the smaller slides with short landing pads will use the smaller tarps. Rolling it this way is easy for our workers to know to just grab the correct size tarp that's shown on their load sheet.
Please be sure to like and subscribe. Also check out bouncehouse101.com for additional resources. I can't wait to hear from you.